Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. I apologize for the delay because I literally just posted a new video about Andy Cohen and a petition to have him removed from Bravo. Well, they started citing a story that I did while in the Netherlands, talking about the rumor that Andy Cohen might have been demoted at Bravo and that they want to cancel Watch What Happens Live. You know, we've been talking about it. If you follow my page, then you know we've been talking about it. TikTok, you know we've been talking about it there as well. So if you missed that video, I literally posted that right before this Below Deck recap. So let's get into Below Deck. Again, guys, if you like hot topics like this, pop culture, be sure to follow and subscribe. Shout out to everyone that's already in the chat. I appreciate you all being here. And shout out to everyone that was tagging me in that story. And shout out to everyone that always tags me or sends me tea. If you want to be able to keep in contact with me and get updates when we go live like this, join our texting community. I apologize. I am sucking on a lozenge right now. I was, you guys know I'm working a lot. Last night, I was live with Down with Jason and Josh, and we were talking about Below Deck. So if you missed that recap, I will post a link to that after the live, but be sure to check that out and subscribe to Down with Jason. I'm sure I will be back. We are early. We are early in this in the season of Below Deck, but it's oh so good. It's oh so good. All right, let me remind you of the cast. Okay, so this is the cast that we have this season. Of course, legendary Captain Lee is back. We missed him the first episode, but he came back last week. You know, our boat daddy. That sounds so dirty. But that's what we have to call him from going forward. Captain Lee is boat daddy. Captain Lee is boat daddy. And Captain Lee was annoyed this episode. And honestly, I would have been annoyed too. And unfortunately, in his position, he has to kind of hold back his annoyance because, they want a good tip. It's all about service in this industry. Last night when I dropped by Down with Jason, I was talking about when I've gone on a couple of cruises. Cruising is not my favorite thing to do just because there's just so many people. But it's also very interesting to watch people and the different stories that might be going on one ship. Of course, Below Deck is very different. It's a smaller yacht, but I think they need to do a show. You're welcome, Bravo. I would love that. Wouldn't you guys love that? Because as Jason was saying last night, there's so many stories going on, from entertainment to the crew to the guests. In this episode of Below Deck, the guests, you guys already know. If you follow the channel, I don't drink. I used to drink a little bit back in the day. I must have been a lush in a past life because I don't like to drink at all. I don't have a taste for it. It's not my thing. Don't judge me. I don't judge you. Oh, sorry. I don't like a messy drunk. And I think a lot of people think I judge them for drinking. I don't. I just don't like messy drunks or angry drunks. If you're a fun drunk, you can hold your liquor. Everyone drink responsibly. Just saying. These charter guests, which we will get to, were a mess and embarrassing to themselves, not to me. Look, not to me. But before we get to the charter guests, guys, if you're just joining us, we have almost 100 people in the room. Be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Last week, we had Down with Jason here talking about it. The previous week, we were talking about Below Deck. I am invested in following and watching and reporting on this season. So if you are a Below Deck fan, be sure to follow me here and subscribe. Okay? Raina and Jake hooked up last week. Raina and Jake, okay, I have to apologize. Well, I don't know if I should apologize. I was wrong. Issa is a guy. But look, you see the name Issa. Issa Rae is the first person I think of nowadays. That name, she's made that name famous. Well, all of you were in the chat and saying, well, Issa's a very common male name. I forgot if you said it was Arabic name. I can't remember. But I was like, all right, we shall see. But I still stand behind. I think, Raina, I think she's open. Okay? I think she's open. But we found out that Issa is a Canadian man that she met in Mexico. They're not exclusive, so she didn't cheat, but they're talking. Raina seems like a whole lot of fun. Can we talk? Raina seems like a whole lot of fun. I like her so far this season. I really do like her so far this season. She's bringing a lot more than my boy Wes. Okay, Wes, I love you, but you do have to bring a little bit more. Look at that face. How could you be mad at that face? How could you be mad at that face? Wes, we got to see a little bit more of Wes and Jessica this episode, a little bit more of their personality. We got to see more of Jessica's mom's personality, which I found quite entertaining. But we got to see a little bit more of Wes' personality, still holding out to see what's going on. But look, not everyone can be a Frasier. That would probably be annoying. Maybe not. Frasier is very entertaining. And I did watch What Happens Live that night because Frasier, I wanted to see what Frasier had to say. He's just effortlessly funny, witty, shady. I enjoyed it. See, Wendy agrees with me. Wes is cute. I mean, is he bringing anything to the show? Not really. Not yet. We see in previews for later episodes in season, Wes and Jess may have a love affair, which I'm not happy about. Deborah says, she really does. She's full of life. I'm sure you're speaking of Raina. I like Raina. Tarara says, yes, that's my girl. She has good energy. She was also on Watch What Happens Live with Frasier. And it seems as if they've built like a really cool friendship because he asked her the next day in this episode, did I do anything foolish? Did you smooch? And we know Jake and Raina did smooch. Sidebar, I can't remember the first episode whether or not Jake's experience superseded Wes's experience, but I do remember that Wes was a captain on the boats that he was on. And I understand boats are different, but I was just like, why is Jake becoming a lead deckhand and not Wes? And he's been an actual captain. But look, I don't understand the hierarchy. Look, I'm not a yachty. I've never worked on a boat. I've been on a boat, but I've never worked on a boat. Let me see. Beverly says Frasier has a great dry sense of humor. Yes, I love it. I think part of the reason why I love English humor, a lot of people don't necessarily get it, but I get it and I like it. Mama Allie says, not liking Frasier, really? I get it too. I get why certain people, you're either going to love Frasier or not, or hate him. And I love and hate him at the same time. Well, that's Wes. Look, that's Wes. Hold on. Where's Frasier? There we go. I love and hate him at the same time. If you take a look at his Instagram, he's very Instagram official with his Instagram photos. Do I have a photo of him on here? I don't know. I know I have it somewhere. Hold on. I always prepare and I'm like, let me use my preparation, please. No, we got that one. And then we have that one. I guess I didn't upload it. It's okay. It's all right. This is Frasier. You already know who Frasier is. I am guessing for season 10, he will come back as a chief stew on Watch What Happens Live. He said on the current yacht that he's on now, he is the chief stew. So he has the experience. So I'm looking forward to that. In this latest episode of Below Deck, Frasier, Heather, and Jessica have a team meeting. Heather's like, she wants everything to be perfect and better than the last charter. And Frasier's like, really? I'm good at certain things, but you had me doing everything. And he made a joke during Watch What Happens Live in regards to Heather and in one of the things that he would like to see her do, and that's to actually work. This is going to be interesting. He also said that she has a lot to answer for in regards to the season. So I guess we should see at the reunion and how the season progresses. We also see that with Heather, I didn't put up a pic. I don't really love Heather, to be honest with you. I do not love Heather. Heather, she's okay. When you have a Kate Chastain that has set a bar so high for a chief stew, Kate was not just shady. She was also very good at her job. Say what you want about Kate. She was still a good chief stew. You know what I mean? Was she a perfect chief stew? No. But she was a good chief stew. I don't care what anyone says. Kate Chastain, I love you. She follows the Kempire Radio Instagram. Kate, can we get you on Below Anchor Watch with Down with Jason? And I want to be on it that day too, because I love her. Kate, we're sending out a message to you. Someone tag her. But as I said to you before, I think the saving grace for this season is going to be Frasier. Not everyone needs to be funny and shady, but you know who else is funny? Chef Rachel. Chef Rachel, for me, And you know, I've said this before. I didn't like her behavior on the past season. I thought she was a little crazy, a little too. First of all, she was very disrespectful to Captain Lee. I'm shocked that she didn't get chucked off that boat and chucked off the entire series forever because she was very disrespectful. I think more was going on besides drinking with her. She's a little kooky, but according to Adam and Jason, she's a very lovely woman. You also may recall her from America's Next Top Model. She's a beautiful woman too, and she's funny, and she also understands reality TV because she was on America's Next Top Model, and this is her second season. But her drama with Eddie, leave Eddie alone. Why is everyone testing Eddie this season? I think the producers are testing Eddie. First it was Captain Sean. Now it's Chef Rachel bringing up, oh, Eddie said all this stuff about me. And now, Eddie, can we have a conversation? What would you like to talk about, Chef Rachel? Chef Rachel, I do want to try the food because everyone says the food looks amazing, but does it taste amazing? You can make food look amazing, but it could be bland as hell. Are you putting salt and pepper on your chicken? Oh, goodness. Guys, if you just joined us, we are talking about the new season of Below Deck. It's one of my favorite shows because, you know, reality TV is not as real as it used to be. But Below Deck, you have to have a skill set to be on this boat. Yes, of course, you're producing moments, but you still have to know what you're doing. Captain Lee's a real captain. Those deckhands are real deckhands. They know what they're doing. Frasier also revealed on Watch What Happens Live, and that's part of the reason why I like Watch What Happens Live, is because of certain moments we're able to get a little bit more behind the scenes details. But Bravo, I know you're watching. Hello. What you should do, and I'm not just saying this for myself, there are plenty of YouTubers, content creators, social media creators on TikTok that are talking about these shows. Have these people come to these platforms and talk and have these sorts of conversations. Why not? I would love to have a conversation with Frasier. He is so shady. So I love a shady friend. I love a funny friend. Not even just shady. I love a funny friend. I love funny people. I need funny people around me. Anyways, I'm digressing as always. It's okay. But Frasier, this episode is not about Frasier, even though he does still have issues with Heather. We all have issues with Heather. Heather has this bar. She's, you know, I've climbed this ladder in this industry for the last 5 years. Okay. All right, Heather, no one cares. You're the only one that cares. And you still don't seem like you're good at your job. Sorry. Let me see what you guys are saying. Lisa says, we like the salt and pepper. Donna says, I like Captain Sean. I didn't dislike Captain Sean. I have to say, the second episode, seeing his quirkiness, I was like, I could have used maybe one more episode with Captain Sean, but I'm so glad that Captain Lee is back because we need order. Boxer Girl says, Eddie only commented on her actions when Rachel was drunk. And I'm glad that they flashed back to Chef Rachel's antics from last season. It was uncomfortable. First of all, again, Captain Lee has a meeting this episode and says that 2 rules: don't embarrass yourself and don't embarrass the boat. She did both. She was very embarrassing and very inappropriate. And I'm not a stickler for stuff like that. I'm definitely a professional person, but I'm also not a killjoy. She was a liability. That's why I really didn't love Chef Rachel. So far this season, she's just giving us quirky, funny. She had some funny moments this episode as well, but she's doing her job. But look, I still predict that Chef Rachel and Eddie might hook up, even though I think Eddie has a girlfriend, but that hasn't stopped him before. Hey, Eddie. Tracy says, I've never watched this show. Well, let me tell you something. You guys come to the channel and you want to hear my recommendations. Below Deck gets 100% my recommendation. There are a tons of shows that I talk about, and I'm like, okay, I like the show. I don't know if I want you to necessarily watch it. Like we did our Tuesday TLC takeover yesterday, where I was talking about I Love a Mama's Boy, 90 Day Fiance. I love a Mama's Boy. I like it, but would I 100% recommend it? Not really. Not really. There's plenty of other things that you could waste your time with. Below Deck is not a waste of time. Start season 1. It's so good. It's so good. And let me know when you're watching it. It's so good. Okay. Mama says meow. Every time I see that now, I think of Adam doing it, and I crack up to myself. Lisa says Captain Sean remind me of the Lollipop Guild on Wizard of. Yeah. Okay. Chocolate Chunks Chunk says we need our boat dad. Yeah, we need Captain Lee. Captain Lee doesn't get into the mess. He's there to keep order. Captain Sean just seems a little too involved. He seemed a little too involved in the mess. Michael says Frasier and Raina are the show. Them two and Rachel and Eddie make it fun. I agree. I agree. So far, Frasier and Raina are doing what they're supposed to do, and that's why they were on Watch What Happens Live together. Daniel says Below Deck is the best one out there. I agree. And let me be honest with you. I've only watched a couple of episodes of Below Deck Med, but I hear that's just as great. I just haven't had the time to really do like a whole marathon. But I'm going to get into Below Deck Med. And rest in peace to the captain from season 1. I think we forgotten to mention that. I can't remember his name, but you guys will remember his name in the chat. But he just passed away. He was only 65 years old. He was only 65 years old. And I watched season 1, so I remember seeing him on that. Okay. Trish, thank you. Trish says, how do I fill out application to be your assistant? Trish, right now, we're not looking. Right now. Not right now, but stay tuned. One I am looking to add to the Kempire team. I will make a public announcement about that. Just understand, working for me is a whole other level. Just saying. Just saying. Tavares says, yes, to me, Med is way better. Okay, so, all right. Am I supposed to just cancel all of my lives today and just watch Below Deck Med? Stop, play with me. Also, guys, speaking of other lives today, I will be going live at 5 p.m. Eastern to talk about Ready to Love, another show that you guys recommended. I'm watching it. It's giving me very much the Bachelor vibes, but different. It's different. It's a definitely different concept. Tommy, is that nephew Tommy from the radio? Oof. He's a lot. He's a lot. I get why he's on it, but I'm just like, he's a lot. He's a lot for me. It's okay, though. We're going to talk all about it, and you will have an opportunity to call in if you would like for Ready to Love, the recap for season 5 in DC. We have a lot of people that watch us from the DMV, so stay tuned for that later today at 5 p.m. Eastern. Right now, we are talking about Below Deck Med. So let me move on. So Chef Rachel and Eddie's conversation, they moved on quickly because Eddie's not trying to have arguments. He's not trying to have arguments. Yes, 5 p.m. Eastern tonight. I will be doing the Ready to Love recap. Okay, just because it's only 5 episodes in, so we're going to talk about it. Mama Allie says, if you liked Captain Sean, you'll love Captain Sandy. I know everyone has said that. Micromanager to a T. I've heard. Desiree says nephew Tommy is an executive producer as well as host as Ready to Love. Makes sense. I don't know how I feel about it, but luckily he's not there all the time. It's not really about nephew Tommy. It's more about the couples, beautiful couples too. We will get to that tonight. Back to this. So we're going to get to the charter guests. Let's talk about these charter guests. So the charter guests arrived drunk. They wanted their bourbon. They arrived drunk to this charter. This is Justin. He is not the primary. This is the primary. The primary was drunk. Justin, I have to give Justin credit at the beginning. He walked away. Justin walked away. Okay, we have to give him credit. He walked away. He went away. He had his dinner separate from everyone else. The poor gay couple were the only ones with sense. They were the only ones not drunk. And if they weren't an annoying drunk. But honestly, these two I kept on mixing up. Mike or Michael, or whatever you call him. I kept on mixing up. I was like, which one's the primary? So Mike is the primary. This is a whole work trip. According to Frasier, they must have won this in a lotto because they have no class. They are not people that belong on a yacht. And I have to agree with him. I have to agree with him because they just were annoying from jump. They were annoying from jump. They were drunk coming onto the boat and they kept on drinking. Look, I have no issue with people drinking, but be able to hold your liquor. Do not be annoying. Poor Captain Lee had to sit down and have dinner with them. And this lady kept on saying, oh, wait, not that lady. This lady, you're from Michigan? You're from Michigan? Desiree says the charter guests, hold on. Ooh. The charter guests were a complete mess, but Chef Rachel is killing it. Look, we assume Chef Rachel's killing it. They were drunk when they were eating that food. Well, according to Captain Lee, she's a very good chef. She's a very good chef. But look, exactly. Kaya says, toxic workplace, that must be. They work in real estate. They work in real estate. And according to Jason, when I dropped by last night, his channel to recap this, he says he's not surprised because he's worked in real estate before. Is that what we're missing on $1 Million Listing? We don't see them drunk as a skunk on $1 Million Listing. Who knows? Oh, I forgot. Guys, don't forget, get your coldest water bottle today. Discount code KEMP10 for 10% off. Keeps your cold water cold for 36 plus hours. Comes in multiple sizes and colors. And don't forget, I will be working on a podcast this week. Stay tuned. The podcast is where you get a different side of some of these hot topics and reality TV recaps. So stay tuned for that. Kempire Radio on all podcast platforms. More information on my podcast and my social media is available in the description of this video. Right now, we are talking about Below Deck, this week's latest episode, which we had the charter guests from hell. At first, I was okay with this lady. I was like, you know what? She's drunk. That's it. She's not really bothering anybody. She was a little annoying to Captain Lee. But she was to herself. She was to herself, and then it went weird. We had to wait all the way until the last few minutes of this episode. Justin, who I was like, you know what? I give Justin credit. Justin walked away, and I was proud of him. He was drunk, but he walked away. He was putting that bourbon in his little canister. He's putting that little bourbon in his canister, and he was still getting drunk. But then he got aggressive with this woman. I can never remember her name. And you guys, if you remember her name, you'll let me know in the chat. She's from Michigan. If one thing we do not know, we know that she is from Michigan. Danny says, but Justin is rude though, Kempire. No, he was definitely rude. He was definitely rude throughout the trip, but I was glad that he walked away originally. But then at the end, remember, she came to him. He wasn't bothering anybody. But then he got aggressive. Daniel says, Justin needs a coldest water bottle. Justin, if you're watching, discount code for 10% off, KEMP10. He does need a coldest water bottle. Thank you. Shout out to my mods. Look, I can't do this without you guys. Her name is Michigan. That's what we're going to call her. We're going to call her Michigan because she kept on saying, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Michigan as well. I can't with this crew. I wonder what the next couple of days will be like with them. But at the end of this episode, it gets really hostile. Justin's like, get her away from me. Why did Heather make it seem like she didn't understand what he was saying? She's like, get her away from me. Get her away from me. And she's like, what? I don't understand. Heather, get her away from him. Separate them. Heather did make the assumption that we all were thinking. Were these two boinking at one point? Here I go use boinking again. When did I use that yesterday? Oh, for our TLC takeover. They were boinking, I think, at some point, which would not surprise me. When you work in corporate America, I'm very professional. I never did that with a coworker or someone that worked in the same company. I was very professional in that regard. But a lot of people aren't. I can only tell you the amount of people, married people, that cheated on their spouses with their coworkers. Y'all think I just like gossip of the celebrities? People like to tell me things, even when I'm not asking. Even when I'm not asking, people tell me things. I guess I'm one of those people. So I used to hear all the gossip in corporate America, the things that people were doing, the things that people were doing, the things that were doing. Lisa H said it's the boinking hour. Everyone's like, I need to put that on a t-shirt. Boinking. Oh, let me not do that. Is that copyrighted? Bet Leah says, Kempire, to avoid using boinking, I give you the British expression of shagging. I know that term. Yes. Let me use shagging. Let me use shagging. But boinking just has a different feel though. Shagging though. You look, shagging. Anytime I feel British, I'll use shagging. Maybe when we're talking about below deck, I'll use the term shagging. Because shagging is fitting, right? And when I talk about the American shows, I'll talk about boinking. Everyone is reacting to boinking. See, Ida says, I married my coworker. I'm not saying that it's impossible. It can happen. But if you're married or you already have a spouse or something, or a partner, I've heard stories. Look, I'm not judging. It just didn't work for me. Dana said I'd be boinking too in the facts. You guys are terrible. Yes, I do love the term shagging. We will use shagging just because Frasier is a part of this and Frasier is English. So we will use shagging when referring to what's coming up for Frasier. I look forward to seeing Frasier seems like he's open. Whoever casted him, he says on Watch What Happens Live, when he was casted, he was just casted for a job. It wasn't for a show. It was for a job, and it happened to be a show. Shout out to you guys that linked me to interviews, because you linked me to an interview with Frasier as well. And I watched him on Watch What Happens Live. He was very fun. Oh, exactly. And this Ida says Christmas parties get crazy, especially when people start drinking. I could tell y'all stories that people used to tell me from when I used to work in corporate America at these office parties. I never would go because, first of all, I don't like to see people like Justin. Hold on, let me bring Justin in. Like Justin, who drink too much, get a little touchy feely, get a little aggressive. I don't want to see it. I don't want to witness it. But I'll listen to the stories the next day from other coworkers that went. I look, stories for days. Stories for days. Look, things like that too. Mm-mm-mm. Carol says, I'm Team West. West. Yeah, West is adorable. He's not bringing a lot. This episode, we got a little bit more personality from Wes, and apparently there's going to be a love affair between Wes and Jessica. Whatever. We also learned from Frasier during his interview on Watch What Happens Live is that you don't see a lot of male gay stews. You don't see a lot of them in the industry. And I was like, wow, really? And he also revealed that he has hooked up on yachts with other crew members, but he understands it doesn't always work out. But then Andy asked him the question, but you said there aren't really a lot of gay, you know, guys on these ships and yachts. And he was like, well, they weren't necessarily identifying as gay. They were that night. Data says Kemp's the one who stands next to the food, snacking all night and just watching and judging everybody. If I had went, probably. I just wouldn't go. I had better things to do. When I leave work, I don't want to hang out with my coworkers. Bye. Good luck, Wendy, on your job interview tomorrow. All right. We had one before when Kate was there. Yes. I can't think of his name. He was also one of my favorites. He's not as shady as Frasier. He's different. He's very different. He's English as well. I can't think of his name. He was supposed to be on last season of Below Deck. You guys will remind me in the chat. He was supposed to be on last season of Below Deck, but the pandemic hit. He was on a flight to go to replace, I forgot who he was replacing. And they had to stop it because of the pandemic. They canceled the whole thing. Yes, Josiah. Josiah. I love Josiah. Hey, Josiah. He was another fave of mine. Yes, everyone. Josiah. Yes. Exactly, Gwen. Gwen says exactly, Kempire. I'm out at 5. I was out at 4 p.m. I said bye. So many people like, why aren't you stay? After 15 years, you think they would have got it. I'm not coming. I'm going home. With people I actually like. It's so freeing being my own boss now. Danielle says, Josiah, I love it. I love Josiah too. And I was really heartbroken that he wasn't able to come because of the pandemic. So he was at the airport, from what I hear. He was at the airport ready to come. And because of the pandemic, you know how everything shut down that second week in March. And he wasn't able, they canceled the show. Shay says, I would do lunch with Kim. I mean, I would do lunch with certain coworkers, but I'm not hanging out after hours. No, I probably did it like a handful of times. On one hand, I could probably count the amount of times I went out with coworkers, at least in corporate America. In the nonprofit world, I used to go out. I'm still friends with some of my coworkers from the nonprofit world. We used to go out after work and mind you, I was in my early 20s then, so I didn't know better. But I still didn't drink then. I still didn't make a fool of myself. Yes, everyone loves Josiah. Josiah, there's so much love for you right now. There's so much love for Josiah. Guys, we have over 200 people watching our Below Deck recap. Be sure to like the video. If you're watching the recap, be sure to like the video as well. Subscribe to the channel if you love Below Deck. More is coming. I'm going to try and bring Jason back here at least once a month. We're all busy doing all kinds of things. But if you missed it, I dropped by his channel to talk about Below Deck last night. We did Anchor Watch. And I said to Jason, Anchor Watch, isn't that a punishment? This is starting to feel like a punishment, but I had such a great time. But y'all know, look, I'm up early. But I don't go to bed early either, but I'm not necessarily on live. But when I'm talking about Below Deck, I have a whole other level of energy. But by the end of it, I was like, all right, I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. My voice, I'm feeling it. Let me take a lozenge. Shout out to everyone that's in the chat. Guys, if you would like to become a member of the channel, head on over to TheKempire.com. There are multiple tiers on how you can support the channel. I appreciate all of our channel members. You don't have to join, but we appreciate it. Also, don't forget, we are fundraising in honor of National Native American Heritage Month. That is officially made by President Biden. So we are doing a fundraiser for firstnations.org. Look, again, you don't have to donate, but because I have a platform and a platform that's growing, why not help people if we can? Why not? I wish more people would do it. But I can't make people do what I want to do. But if we start seeing more people doing it, wink, wink. Hey, Marsha, what's going on? Bet says, was just happy when Captain Lee came back. Me too. Me too. Shay says, just salads. Just the salads. Hold on. Oop. Bet says, oh, there we go. Love Frasier, but know that he's only going to put up with Heather for a short time. He's very good and very professional. It will be interesting to see how this all plays out. Yes, thank you, Mama Allie. Thank you to everyone that's already donated, that's donated in the past for our other fundraisers. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, Danielle. All right. Oh, Desiree says, have you checked out Below Deck Galley Look? It's Josiah and some female Kate and Ben. 2 other groups from previous seasons are watching past season episodes and commenting hilarious. Yes, it's very much like Pillow Talk that we get for 90 Day Fiance. I haven't watched it chapter and verse. I've seen like episodes, clips. I just haven't, I don't have the time. I don't have the time, and I'm sure it's a lot of fun. Shantae says, Captain Lee needs not to stay away like this. No mo. He was only gone for like an episode, y'all. He was only gone for an episode. I kind of would like to see the friction between Captain Lee and Captain Sean, but Captain Lee was like, "Get off my boat." Yes, Anchor Watch was fun. I love it. I will definitely be back. Heather says, "I adore Kate. I adore Kate too. I want to see more Josiah. Maybe next season. You think we could get Josiah and Frasier in one season? I think they would get along because I don't think that Josiah is as shady or messy. But it would be interesting to see that dynamic. Two gay guys on one yacht. You think they would hook up? I believe Frasier and Josiah are in relationships, but who has that stopped? Lisa says Captain Lee is aging. I'm sorry to say. Well, we all are. We all are. And Captain Lee has been doing this for a very long time. I think him doing the show and only doing the show probably would be his best bet in the future because at least that's a short period of time if he wants to. If he wants to, he's definitely a star. Elaine says Captain Lee wasn't having any of Captain Sean. Nope. Heather says that would be a fun combo. Yeah, let's get Josiah and Frasier next season, season 10. Frasier has to come back for season 10 though. Unless he's in Europe, then maybe we can get him on Below Deck Med, but I want to see him on Below Deck. We shall see. Oh, damn. Captain Lee is 72. And we know Captain Lee had some health issues, and that's part of the reason why he was delayed to coming for this season. But he was only delayed an episode. Suzanne says Josiah is not shady as Frasier. I love him more than Frasier, and I get it. Josiah is more lovable, but he has a dry sense of humor as well. And I like the dynamic between Josiah and Kate. What's going on with Kate? What is Kate doing? I know she does the galley talk, but I thought she was coming back this season. But I get it. I get it. We have Frasier though. We have Frasier this season. Guys, if you just joined us, we are talking about Below Deck. These charter guests ended this latest episode, and they're a mess, but we only got a brief introduction to what the mess is going to be. We thought this entire episode would be about their mess. A good majority was, but it ended with the brawl between Michigan and Justin. Michigan and Justin. Hey, Michigan and Justin. Justin does get a little aggressive. We did not enjoy that aggressive side of him. But Heather, you could have did a better job at putting out this fire. She could have did a better job. I hate to blame her, but he told her, get her away from me. And she's like, what? What? Heather, really? Just saying. We're going to continue to watch what this whole Justin and Michigan situation will turn out to be on Below Deck. Honestly, it's not entertaining to me, but they do end up getting separated. Eddie's watching the entire situation. Eddie is a first officer. Eddie does not want to be on the deck anymore. I always forget like the hierarchy and things like that. But I guess, normally we don't see the first officer. But according to Raina on Watch What Happens Live, she's like, well, on a bigger ship, yeah, but this is a smaller yacht. So the first officer will be involved. Eddie, you letting this go to your head. It's okay, Eddie. We love you anyway. You're going to hook up with Chef Rachel, aren't you? You guys are going to hook up. Ew, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. You think Chef Rachel has a crush on Eddie? I don't blame her. Eddie's a cutie. But I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Desiree says Josiah and Frasier would be too much. I kind of feel like maybe, but we'll see. We shall see. It also depends on their schedules. These people are real yachties. They are really working in the industry. Right now, Frasier is a chief stew on another boat. So they're busy. So if it makes sense within their schedule and shooting schedule, then we shall see what happens. Yes, Desiree says that Kate was doing Bravo Chat Room. It was her idea, and she was an executive producer, but she ended up leaving. Rumor has it she didn't get along with some of the ladies. But you guys are doing it virtually. You don't need to get along. You don't need to get along. You're doing this virtually. Who cares? Well, y'all hear the YouTube drama. So everything we do is virtually. So I get it then. Okay. And now I understand it differently. People start drama online all the time. So maybe that's what it was. I need more Kate Chastain, though. I need more Kate Chastain. Mama Elsie, they might boink each other. Boinking is the key word of today. Okay? If you're watching the replay of this, keyword was boinking. You should take a shot every time. A shot of milk. Okay? Not look, we don't drink here. I'm drinking water. Or am I? Or am I? Or am I this guy? Wendy says she has a crush on Captain Lee. Understandably. Eddie and Eddie hook up. I think you meant Chef Rachel. Kate says Kate did an interview and was pretty specific on what the problem was. Miss Lady, what's the problem? Kate doesn't hold back, and that's what I love about her. She doesn't hold back. I need to guys link me to that interview because I want to talk about it. And next week we will talk about it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here. That is our Below Deck recap. If you enjoy Below Deck Med, I know I didn't recap Below Deck Med this past season, even though it did very well in the ratings, and a lot of people said it was very good. I need to do a full recap, a full watch of the entire series before I do a recap. I mean, I know I don't have to, but I want to because I love Below Deck. So I want to get into Below Deck Med. So if you enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, you're not just getting reality TV recaps or reality TV talk here on the channel. You're also getting everything in pop culture. So if you missed anything on Wendy Williams, the Travis Scott story, or even the recent story about Christopher Williams, the R&B singer that allegedly hit Halle Berry and caused a hearing issue. Apparently, according to his family, he's not in a coma, but he is stable. All right. All right. Guys, if you enjoy content like this, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thank you to everyone that was a part of the conversation in the live chat. Thank you for everyone that will be a part of the conversation in the comment section. Thank you to our Team Kempire and Royal Court members. And of course, thank you to our moderators for keeping this space an open and fun dialogue. Because here on the channel, we love to hear your opinion as long as you're being kind to each other. Thank you to everyone on my TikTok. Thank you to everyone on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. I appreciate you. Thank you all in the chat. Have a great evening. I will see you, a great day. I will see you at 5 p.m. Eastern tonight for Ready to Love. Get your conversations ready. You will have an opportunity to call in and talk about these couples like nobody's business. All right. I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching.